Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has a lot of interesting characters. You got Sonic who can run fast. You got Tails who can fly high. You got Knuckles who can punch through boulders. You got Amy Rose with her hammer. But let's talk about Sally Acorn. Now, she was created for the Sonic the Hedgehog TV show back in the early 90s, dubbed Sonic at the end by the fans. She is a member of the Freedom Fighters with Sonic, Tails, her best friend Bunny Rabbit, her handyman Rhoda the Walrus, and her general Antoine de Collet, or Antoine de Pedro as he was known as in the show. And she had her handy pad Nicole, and with all that, they had to defeat Robotnik and save Mobius. Sally is great with strategy. She comes up with plans. She knows how to create traps. She, at one point, was successfully able to fend off buzz bombers, and it's shown that she knows how to utilize her allies to her advantage. She knows how to work with Sonic and make plans with him. She has someone like Bunny Rabbit, who's a cyborg, and honestly, she would make a great game character one day. So hopefully, Bunny makes that leap. And she just knows how to use people's skills quite adequately. And when she's not fighting, she's off doing her own thing. She's kind of like a mother figure to Tails. He is her Aunt Sally. That's one of my favorite things about her, is that when she's as tough as she is, she has that maternal side to her, and it's very endearing. She's we see this motherly side in the comics as well when it came to Nicole, because when Nicole gained sentience and actual body, Sally became like a big sister and took care of her. And she, in the comic, shows that she's very protective of Nicole, and the two have like this found family thing, like Sonic and Tails, Knuckles and Amy, Blaze and Moraine. So then you have Sally and Nicole, who were sisters to the point where they're like twins. That's how I see it. So then you have Sally and Sonic. This is probably my favorite pairing, I would say. I'm not now to me Sonic and Sally is like Superman and Lois Lane. They just feel right for each other. So Sonic on the show is a bit more hyperactive. He's a bit more cocky. So Sally has to be the level-headed one. The two are like, but the two are funny together. They have funny banter. They flirt with each other. They tend to annoy each other, but you know they care about each other. So Sonic and Sally is just my favorite duo, and I know it's stated that in the games it may not happen. Sonic in the games is always on the move. It's not restricted like he is in Knothole. That's why Tails has to keep up with him, and why Amy had to learn to keep up with him. Amy's love story for Sonic is akin to like Japanese anime, like Hinata Hyuga trying to get Naruto's attention, or Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball trying to get Goku's attention. Amy had to keep up with Sonic to get his attention. Sally can't do that. How does Sally get Sonic's attention in the game? This is how I see it. Sonic respects people who take chances, and I can see Sonic seeing Sally taking out some badniks. He sees her, and he's like, wow, she's pretty strong, but looks like she's in danger, so I should probably help her out. Sonic's a nice guy, and he's a gentleman. He goes to get her home, and when she tries asking him about him, he's like, just a guy who loves adventure. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. I'll see you later. And then he just leaves. I could see Sally being smitten with him, and she goes out to fight more badniks, not only to protect her town, but because maybe she hopes to run into Sonic again. And she does, and he, of course, helps her against her home, but I think it's more, the more they interact with each other, the more Sonic becomes familiar with her, and maybe he respects her bravery. Now, I could even see Sonic going by Naho once in a while just to check up on her. It's no different from him going by Tails' workshop to check up on him once in a while. So, but the thing is with Sonic and Sally is that Sally will need to accept that her relationship with Sonic is long distance, because Sonic is always going to be on the move. Even if Sonic goes to see Sally, he's going to go on a move again. So, Amy pursues, but Sally knows how to get Sonic to come to her, and that's special in its own right. This is not restricting Sonic to one area, because Sonic has freedom to leave, but this is giving Sonic the choice to go to Naho. Again, this is his choice to go see Sally. So, and I know some are going to say Amy worked harder, so she should get Sonic. Sally's working hard too. Don't undermine her hard work just because you want Sonic with Amy. Okay, be open-minded. I am not saying that Sonic needs to be with Sally. You don't need to say that Sonic needs to be with Amy. Again, that's going to go against the whole freedom thing. Leave it up to the fans. Final Fantasy VII for the most part, leaves it up to the fans when it comes to Cloud with Tifa or Cloud with Aerith. Though, granted, I think Cloud with Aerith is supposed to be a bit more canon, but it's still open-minded. So, that's how I see Sonic and Sally working in the games. It's not going to be exactly like Sadie M, and I can't even say that it's going to happen because Sally may not be with anyone in the games. I mean, if I had a choice to put with another game character besides Sonic, it would either be Mighty because of the whole potential Sadie M-like dynamic, or Ray because he's an adventurer but he's careful. But if I've given a choice, I'd rather just not see Sally with anyone if she can't be with Sonic. It just wouldn't feel right to me. I'll be open-minded if I need to, but as long as it's within character for Sally, as long as I feel like it's not breaking her character. My thing with Sally in the comics is this. I don't always like how she's written. I feel like at points in the comics, they had to make her in the right all the time. She can never be wrong, and it's really frustrating. She's clearly in the wrong, but the narrative wants to make it seem like what she did was okay. She bullied Fiona Fox out of the Freedom Fighters and then rubbed it in her face later. That doesn't make Sally look good, it makes Fiona look worse, but the narrative expects us to believe that Fiona's this terrible person who deserved it. She's not. She deserved better. Sally brushes off Mina Mongoos's legitimate concerns about Nicole, and even though maybe Mina could handle it better, but she was right in that Nicole could pose as a threat, especially after the whole Iron Kingdom thing. But Sally didn't want to hear it, and the narrative wants you on her side. I like Sally. I'm not going to side with her on that type of stuff. She could be better than that. Like, that's my thing. I feel like the comics just tried too hard to make her too tough and whatever, and the reboot somewhat fixed that, but the reboot's got its own issues, and I feel like it just could have been better. Sally, she's a character I would like to see return one day. I could imagine how she could work in the games. I could imagine how she'd work in the IDW comics. She has potential to be a character that can come back. And she just needs good writing. I like to see Sega Japan handle most of the writing, because Western writers are just gonna whatever her, because this day and age I can't really trust Western writers, especially when it comes to the comic books or video games. So, but these are my thoughts about Sally Acorn. She's a great character who deserves better writing. That's all I had to say. Thank you for listening.